Alright, and then the last thing we gotta do is get the headlight working. Alright, so that's what I'm gonna do next after I eat dinner. Okay, so after dinner I will take care of that. So basically we're going to take the positive and negative from this. Alright, we're gonna terminate another connector, the male one. Alright, and it's gonna be 2 bullets. Okay, it's going to be a positive and negative bullet. I'm going to make them opposite so you can't plug them into each other. And then the positive bullet will go here, and the negative bullet will go to the ground here. Okay? And yeah. So it'll go here, basically. That's funny. The black wire is the hot wire. Okay? And then these 2 wires here. So I'm going to have to strip this to get to this. These wires they cut them. I think they're supposed to be longer. They're supposed to be longer, and they're supposed to have bullet connectors on it. All right, and then these will be connected to this. Okay, so that'll be on this, and then there'll be a bullet going to this. All right, so there'll be a bullet coming out of this, and then these 2 wires going to it. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be kind of funky. Alright, but it just kind of has to be that way, guys, because the power has to come into here, and it splits it off, and then so you can choose between the high beam and the low beam. It's so annoying. Alright, and then I think I'm just going to not use the running light. Alright, guys? Unless I want to power it with something else. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too fancy with it, guys. I just want to keep it simple. Alright, so anyway, that's a scoop. That's the project I got after dinner. All right, after dinner or tomorrow. depends if I want to work on this anymore. All right, guys. So I'm gonna turn my switch off. Oh yeah. And then obviously the last thing to do is we need to hook it up to the controller. All right. I forgot. I still have it hooked up to the battery pack, so I'm gonna have to charge that thing. Okay. So yeah. And then we gotta route all the wiring and make it all pretty and everything. All right. And then put everything back together. It pains me to see the bike looking like this all the time in freaking pieces, right? Like I'm doing surgery on it. It's awful. I hate it. Okay, guys, but I think it'll be done. Hopefully it'll be done tonight. I don't think it'll be done tonight. It'll be done tomorrow for sure. The goal was to get this done by yesterday. Okay, guys, so I'm already a day late. So I'm going to be 2 days late I'm not going to work on the 12-volt stuff tomorrow. I will get the headlight. Oh, yeah. I'll get the headlight working, yeah. So before we were going to use 2 outputs from the controller, one to control the headlight and one to control the rest of the lights on the bike, all right? But I decided, I found out that thing is there's a 12-volt output right there, the one that I hooked the brake sensor up to. And I decided, hey, why don't you just use that? It's like it's already there. You don't have to run another thing, so... Keep it simple, and then I can just shut everything off from the app. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so see you guys after dinner or tomorrow. One of the 2, all right? And I'll take a bunch of pictures, all right, of me doing it, and then you'll see it done right now. Alright, he's Mega here, and it's the next day, and we're gonna go get this headlight working. Alright, so I built a bullet harness. Alright, so it connects to that 12 volts wire that was on the harness that not doing anything. And then I made what is this? This is the male. I made the male connector, and then I made separate bullets. Okay, so one is a red bullet and one is a black bullet, and they're different ends. One's a male and one's a female. So you can't mess up installing it. All right. So when I do the other end, so the other red is going to be the male end. Okay. So and the power comes out of this one. So that's why I made it female, so it won't short out on anything. Okay, guys. And then yeah. So this is going to connect. The black is going to connect to to the headlight. To the headlight right here. Okay, so this is the headlight, guys. So this is the wire going to the headlight. All right, and I've got the connector already on it. It's a 4-pin connector. One of the connectors is a black, all right, the ground or the negative, and then two of them. One of them is a high beam, one of them is a low beam, and one of them is the running light. Okay, I think I've decided I'm not going to run the running light. If I want to, we can splice it to the low beam, I guess. That's what I want to say. So I might do that. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to start with the negative. We're going to start with all the power. Okay, so the negative is going to go here. Okay, the positive is going to go to the switch here. Okay, so it's going to go to this black wire here, according to the diagram. All right, so this is the power in, and then the power comes out through these two wires. Okay, so one of these is the low beam, one of these is the high beam. It's white and blue, and I got a white and blue wire on this one, so I think they go to that. All right, but I copied the wiring diagram for this light. All right, from the I guess you can get it on Amazon or something. So I know what's what. Yeah, let's go take a look at it real quick. Okay, so here's the harness. It's going to connect to the control switch. All right, but this harness actually has nothing to do with the Enduro lighting harness. Has nothing to do with the headlight. So, but that's what this guy's for. All right, Tusk compact control switch instructions. All right, so all this stuff, it just plugs into the harness, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, but the headlight is something different. Okay, so the headlight is like the top part of all the wires and stuff. Okay, those 3 wires. All right, black was the main power. All right, so that's going to be where the red goes. All right, you know, that 12 volts bullet that I just made, that's where the red connects. So the red is going to connect to the black, and I just have to make sure that I make the bullet connector the right one. All right, that way I'm going to design it in a way where you cannot plug it in the wrong way, okay? Because it'll be like, you know, 2 innies or 2 outies, right? There's no they don't go together, right? So white is the low beam and the blue is the high beam. This is the instructions I got, or the wiring diagram that I copied from the Amazon website for this headlight. All right, so red is the high, blue is the low. What? Hold on. Was there a red? Let me see. There wasn't a red. I think this is wrong. I might have copied the wrong one, guys. Oh, there is a red. Okay. Yeah, red is the high, blue is the low, and the white is the daytime running light. All right. So the white is the low beam on this one. All right. So we want. You know what? I might want to test that before we connect. I'm not sure. We'll see. I can always pull the pins out and move them around with this, so that's the nice thing. I think you stick like a pin or something in there, and you can take the pins out of it. All right, so yeah. All right, so we're just gonna wire it according to that. So the black will go to the 12 volts. The white will go to the low beam, which is the blue. White goes to blue, and then the blue goes to red. All right, and then there's a daytime running light, the white. What I might do is tie the low beam and the daytime running light together. Okay, it would be nice to have it separate, but there is also a kill switch. All right, so this switch has a high, a low, and an off setting. That's great. I love that. All right, I love being able to turn the headlight off. Right, you know, these freaking North American freaking motorcycles, right? And everything in North America, or at least in the United States, when you turn the bike on, the headlight stays on. That's the way. That's like some kind of stupid law or regulation that they made up in the United States. All right, so you can't turn your headlight off. All right, and it's a good thing, right? It's a good idea to ride with your headlight on, so people can see you better. All right, but if I want to save power and turn it off, or if we're racing, I don't need the lights, right? I could use the extra power, right? Yeah, so that's a scoop, guys, and like I only really need it for riding at night, right? And I don't know if we're really gonna ride this thing at night. Okay, so that's the scoop, guys. All right, so I've got all the diagrams here. Hopefully, it's like it says in that that thing, but we can test it when I start connecting stuff to it. Well, actually, I can test it right now. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Well, anyway, so we'll test it. I will put the ground in. We'll connect the negative to this, and then we'll probe the other ones. Okay, just to double check. All right. Yeah. I think that's the first thing we should do. All right, so I'm gonna make the negative connector. All right, for this, it's gonna be, the negative is gonna be a female connector. All right, so it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be a female coming out of here, so because it's gonna connect to this. All right, so we're gonna put a female bullet on this, and then I think it's a female. Yeah, we're gonna put a female bullet coming out of this, and there's gonna be female pins coming out of this, because if you look at it, there's male pins in there. Okay, so we're gonna put a male pin in this. Okay, so the male black for this, and no, it's gonna be a female black. Female's gonna go here, and the female's gonna go here. Okay, so they're two different connectors, but it should just plug in almost. All right, so I'm gonna make it right now. I'll probably just be like maybe like 3 inches or something. It doesn't have to be super long. Okay. Okay, so I made the negative. All right, so we're gonna plug that into the headlight, and then we're gonna plug it into the box here. Okay, so I'm gonna plug it into the black wire that's on there, without the connector on there. Okay. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay, so that's the female bullet, and then this is the female connector for the for this square type connector. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna use my test lamp here to activate the positive. Okay, guys. So I have to make sure I don't ground this on anything. All right. So I'm gonna connect this to the positive, and I'm just gonna use it as a probe. That's how we found out that the thing worked. And so that's the positive, and this is the negative. It should light up. Oh, I didn't have the power on. Okay. This should light up when I press this. It does. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna connect this to the things, and we'll see if they match up with what it says in the clipboard. All right. Let me get my clipboard. Here's my clipboard. It's got the next wire I got to do on it. All right. We're gonna see if that is right. Okay. I'm just gonna kind of just talk you through it. All right, guys. So basically, I just have to touch whatever the the light is, and then I can activate it with this. Okay, I just have to make sure I don't ground it. Okay, or else I'll get like a spark. Oh, I won't get a spark. The light will just turn on. All right, so we're gonna connect. I'm gonna connect it to the blue. All right, so I'm gonna go press it on the blue. Okay, I'm gonna press it on the blue. Okay, and the blue is the high beam. Yeah, the blue is the high. I'm going to press the red. Oh, I don't know. They look the same to me. Okay, and then there's a white. White is, I think, is just the running light. Okay, the white is the running light, for sure. The white is the running light. Okay, for sure we know the white is the running light. The question is, I can't tell if the high beam is the high or the low beam is the low. It looks the same to me. I have to like look straight at it. I think the blue is a low. Yeah, okay. I had to actually blind myself. Okay, guys, I have to look straight at the freaking light. Alright, guys, so I think the wiring diagram is right. Okay, guys, so the white, alright, according to my clipboard, alright, the white is the daytime running light, the blue is the low beam, and the red is the high beam, alright? Dude, it's hard to tell between the high beam and the low beam. But we'll find out for sure when we get it on the bike and we can do a beam pattern test. Okay. Oh yeah, you know what? I could do a beam pattern test. I've got the garage door here. Okay. Now let's do that. Okay, we can just watch which one's the high or the low. Okay. You'll see the light go up and down, right? So this is the red. I think it should be the high. Yeah. Okay, red is high. Okay, and then nope. It's hard to tell. They look the same to me, man. Yeah, dude. They look exactly the same, man. I'm alternating them. Oh, okay, there we go. I think the bottom one, this one's the high, and this is the low, because this is a wider beam. So the blue is the low. Yeah, okay. That's right. Alright. So there you go. I've solved it. I solved the mystery. Okay, so you could see, when I was hitting the blue, it was a wider beam, and then when I was hitting the red, it was a narrower beam. That's the only way I could tell. Other than that, they look freaking the same to me, man. Okay, so it's I'm not really sure how this freaking housing works, but there it is. Okay, so we just did a beam pattern test. All right, one of them was wider than the other. That's how I could tell which is what. But but it's right. Red is high, blue is low, and then white is the running light. Okay, so that's how we'll wire it. All right. So it's exactly how it was when I took it off the Amazon web page. All right, he's Mega here. I'm putting the finishing touches on this harness here. Okay, so actually, I'm gonna wire the running light to the low beam. Okay, so the low it's the white wire. So I'm using a white kind of jumper. Okay, jumper wire, and this is gonna go to the blue wire going off of this. All right, so which one is the low beam now? I'm trying to figure out. I'm looking at the diagram here. The low beam is white. All right, so we're gonna wire white to white. There you go, easy. All right, so I'm just gonna tap this into here. Okay, so more work. Well, you should be a pro at this now, Hazy Mega. Okay, it's kind of a crappy little wire, so I would imagine the running light probably eats up the least amount of power, so that's good. Just gonna wire this somewhere like right here. As much as possible. I don't want to do any of this tapping in this shit, you know. What I could do is I could use one of those plastic taps. Yeah, that's a good idea. It looks ugly though. Alright guys, I don't know what it is with this wire. This wire does not like to accept solder. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, but I'll tape it up real good. I'll tape it up and I'll zip tie it. So that shit won't come off. Okay, so that's the last thing that we're gonna do, and then it's just plugging stuff in. Okay, I think that should be good. Alright, she's ready to go. What I might do is all these wires that aren't in the harness, all these separate headlight wires, I'm just gonna tape this right here. Okay, so it's like its own little harness. Okay, add another zip tie to that. Okay, we'll just let that hang out there. Yeah, I always add a zip tie after I tape something so it doesn't unravel itself in the future. Okay, and I think we're done. Alright, so now we just got to match up all these connectors to this doohickey, okay? So the black, all right, so here we go, guys. This is the magic right here. All right, so we got the black wire, right? So the black is, I just got to match it up to this thing, all right? So we've got, it's going to go in like that, well, blammo, okay? So this black one is going to be on the upper right of this one, okay? So pull this out, plug this in the upper right here. I think it goes like this. Okay, I heard a little click. Okay, that's good. Now we got to plug in this wire. Okay, so we need this is white. White is the low beam, right? And the low beam is blue. All right, so I got to find the blue wire. All right, so it's the one on the bottom right is the blue one. All right, so if I got to orientate this right. All right, from where you're looking right now, it's the bottom right, so it's this one right here. So we're gonna put the white one. I grabbed the blue one. We're gonna grab the white one and put on the bottom right. I don't know how to take these off, by the way. I think you just got to bend these little tabs and it'll pop out, but I tried to do it for the other one. It didn't work. Okay, and then so the low beam, all right, is the white one, all right? So I want to wire that to the white. And that's the upper left, all right? So we're going to put this one in the upper left, all right? The one that we connected to the other white wire. Okay, and then by process of elimination, the last one must be blue, right? So the blue is the high beam. It goes to the red, right? The red is on the bottom left. Okay. Okay, and I'm proud to say that we're done, sort of, kind of. Okay. So now what we got to do is we got to take our 12-volt source, all right? We got our 12-volt source, and we're going to plug in the red, all right? Because the red is the black, okay? But I made it red so it's easier to, and plus you can't. I made it so you can't do it wrong, all right? So this one has the male, and then the female's on the hot side, all right? Plug this guy in. Okay, and then we'll plug the black in here. Okay. Slide that over there. All right, and then we're gravy. All right, so now I guess got to plug the connector back into the harness. I mean the switch back into the harness, and then we plug the headlight to this guy right here. And hopefully it works. And then let me double check all the connections and stuff. Go like that. All right. So what was it? The red. Let me double check this before. Red goes to blue. Red goes to blue. Okay. And then white. White is white. White is going to. White is our running light, so it should go to the white wire. All right. So I just made another wire that connects to the white wire here. Okay, black is the main power. That's this one. Alright, that's the black. The low beam is blue. So the blue should be connected to the white wire. Alright, and it is. Okay, so that should be it, guys. There's nothing else. Alright, so here we got our 12-volt source here. Alright, this is our 12 volts input. Yeah, this is our 12 volts input. And this is our negative input for the headlight, okay? And then this is the switch wires, okay? So should work now, right? So let's go power up the harness again. All right, guys. and then we have to get it to get power from the controller next. Okay, so I'm gonna connect the positive here. Okay, I'm gonna connect the negative over here. Okay, and then turn it on. Okay, I got a tail light. We shouldn't have a headlight because it should be off, right? So we're going to turn the switch on, and it should be a low beam and a running light. Boom, there it goes. Woo! All right, and then we got a high beam. Woo! You know what? All it does is just add extra light, actually. That's all it does. All right, so I think I wired it right, guys, because that definitely looks like an extra beam for the high beam. All right, so there you go, guys. I figured it out. Haha, all right, and then all the turn signals still work. Okay. Yep. Awesome, and then all the way down turns it all off. Okay, so that's a low beam. All right, so that's what the it has the running lights on the side. No, you can't even see them anyways. All right, and then that's with the high beam. All right. Yeah, you can barely tell the running light is on. I wish I didn't wire that at all. Okay, there we go. Yahoo! We did it. All right, so now what I have to do is tuck everything away on this harness. All right, and then we'll work on getting the 12 volts power for this wire here. All right, and then we'll be done. All right, so let me clean this all up. All right, guys. So I have to go stash all of this. Basically, what I'm going to do is just zip tie it all together. All right, in one big bundle. And then we're going to put it in behind the headlight, okay? Because that's the best place to cram all those wires, and they're all in the front of the bike, okay? What I might do is get... Alright, so I've got this silicone mat, alright? We're going to use this. This is this dollar store stuff Hades Mega buys when he goes to the Japanese dollar store and I see something useful. Alright, so what we're going to do, Hayes Mega is going to make something like there is on the DR650, alright, so I'll show you what's going on with the DR. So the DR has this, where all the bundle of wires are, there's a little, I don't think you can see it from here. I don't think you can see it on this one. Let's look at the other DR. Ah, okay, there, see those bundle of wires there? That's all the front wiring and stuff. See, there's a little what is it? There's a little thing wrapped around all the wires, all right, to keep water and dust and all that stuff away from it. All right, so we're gonna wrap it with that. Yeah, the only thing is, that silicone stuff, it doesn't breathe. So we'll try it out. Okay, so anyway, so Hades Mega is going to clean this all up. We're going to wrap it with that silicone wrap, put a zip tie around it, so the wiring stays, you know, happy. Okay, all right, I'll take care of it. Okay, so there it is, guys. It's so I cleaned it up as best as I could, man. Okay, so there it is. I just basically, I took a couple pictures. Check them out. Okay, so I wrapped it in that silicone stuff. All right, it's in there. All right, and it's basically just sitting on top of the fender, so that's cool. So the thing is, like, it's protected. All right, so wind and dust and water and stuff won't hit it from the front. All right, if you do wash it from the top, water will get in there. All right, but that's what the cover's for, is to try to keep water and stuff out of there. Okay. Also, most of the connectors are waterproof, right? Like this one right here. All right, I kind of just shoved it up in there. I might try to tidy it up later. Also, we haven't hooked up the turn signals yet. All right, I mean, where the turn signals are hooked up. It's just that they're not installed on the handguards yet. Okay, so we'll do that in a later video. Okay, guys. But so this is going to be the final test before we start working on the 12 volt harness. All right, so this is the last test with the battery. All right, so I'm gonna. Is it on? Yes, it's on. All right, there we go. Okay, so it's getting the power from the battery right now. So left blinkers. Okay. There you go. Right blinker. Okay. Okay. And then front brake. You'll see like a light. It'll get brighter. Okay, see that? Yep. Okay, and then I'm gonna try to step on the. I'm gonna press on the brake pedal right here, and you should see the light go off. Okay. Okay, that works. All right, and I think that's it. Yeah, we got the running light here. All right, and then we've got headlights. All right, so here's the low beam, and there's the high beam. Oh, the high beam doesn't work anymore. What happened? Yeah, the high beam stopped working. Which one is the high beam? The high is the red and blue. It worked before. What happened? Oh, it's working now. Oh no. No, the high beam doesn't work. What the fudge, bro? It's the red. Goes to the blue. Okay, but all the lights work. I mean, all right. Let me figure out why the high beam doesn't work anymore. What the heck, man? All I did was shove it up in there. Maybe that's why. All right, but the light works. All right, at least the low beam works, man. Man. All right, let me go. Okay, that's why we're testing it, right? We're troubleshooting. All right, time for troubleshoot. Okay, I figured it out. All right, so the red wire is the high beam, right? And you can see the red wire, the upper left. All right, that's the red wire. It got bent. All right, it's bent upwards. All right, so is the low beam. The low beam is bent too. So I'm going to straighten it out with a pick. All right, and then hopefully it'll work. All right. Okay, another test. Low beam. All right, high beam. There we go. All right, finally. All right, turn signals. All right, everything still works. Cool. All right, and then yeah, if I want to shut everything off, we just disconnect this power going to this connector right here. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna go clean up around here, and the last thing we got to do is we got to make the 12 volt plug. All right, so. And we'll do that in another. That'll be the next video, all right, guys. All right. But there it is. All right, that's all the lighting for the bike. All right, awesome. I wonder how much power all this eats up, but it looks freaking sweet, man. Finally, I got a headlight and a tail light and all that good stuff on this bike. Now I can go ride it. Okay. Yeah, we probably still got to clean up the harness a little bit. What I might do. I don't know. Everything looks okay here. I kind of don't like this wire hanging out here. What I might do is add this wire. Yeah, let's just add this. Let's put all these wires here. Okay, this is the throttle cable. Let's just leave that out there. All right, but the harness cable. Leave the throttle cable out by itself. We'll put the yeah. Let's put the regen throttle electrical connector with this one. All right, so that's the main harness. All right, so that's all the stuff in the rear. All the stuff in the front is here, tucked up under the headlight. I might try to do a better job of cleaning up under there. It's kind of a mess, guys. There's just wires and shit everywhere, man. But I try to tuck it in there as much as I can. All right, it's just pretty much just resting behind the headlight on top of the fender, man. Okay, and also there's the horn. Yeah, the horn connectors are right here. So if I want to add a horn, maybe we will. All right, if I can find one. It should be pretty easy to find one. I'll see if the old WR250 engine that I got in the backyard has the horn. If it does, we'll find a where to put it. Right? We can probably put it on one of these guys here. Okay, we can just drill a hole and then bolt it in there. All right. But yeah, okay. So the last thing to do is add a connector to the to the 12 volt harness, right? That guy there, and then plug it into there, and that's it. All right. So and then yeah, obviously put everything back together, man. It's just shit everywhere. I'm glad that we're done with all this crap, man. Okay. So yeah, and everything, there's connectors and everything. Hayes may get leveled up his connector game, all right? I'm not gonna lie, all right, guys? This is the most times I'd ever have to fiddle fuck around with connectors and stuff. And I like, you know, doing the connectors. I like being able to disconnect stuff if I need to, or if I need to work on something, it makes it easy to disconnect it, okay? So there's a lot of wiring that went into this bike. I can only imagine how much wiring the dude that had owned this bike before did with the other controller, man. Because okay, but yeah, it's pretty painless if you got the Enduro wiring kit, guys. It's expensive though. It's like $100 something. But I got it for $60, so I can't complain. There's some funky stuff going on with this harness, but I you know, I got around it. Okay, and we're using that one power thing for that. All right. It looks like it's not drawing enough power to blow the fuse, so that's good. I put a... Oh, that doesn't seem very secure. Look at that. Yeah, I don't like this. Why is it doing that? There's like a bad connection. I think it's this fuse. I don't like this fuse, guys. I'm not sure. I may replace that fuse in the future, guys. But I guess we could I could zip tie it to this thing, right? But I'm not a big fan of these glass fuses, man. I'll get one of those the maxi fuses, the plastic automotive ones, the bladed ones. I would rather have that in there than that. Okay. I don't know why they go with that. It's because it's compact, I guess. I don't know. There's plenty of space in there. So okay, but that's it. And then and then so the next video we'll work on getting power from the controller to the light harness. Okay, so everything runs off of that harness now. As you can see, it seems to be running it just fine. However, when I blew I remember I blew a couple fuses for the harness. Yeah, the harness input. I only had 10 amp fuses lying around, so I used 10 amp fuses. Okay, so whether the wiring can handle 10 amps or not, I'm not sure. All right, guys, but I don't think there's a whole lot of power coming out. All right, I can just feel the wires. You know, they're not getting hot at all. Okay, so I think it should be okay. All right. It's not drawing a whole lot of power. They're all LED lights, guys, so it's a power saving thing, okay? But boom, there we go. All right, I can turn that off if I wanted to, and then if I want to turn the whole thing off, the whole harness off, all I have to do is turn it off in the app when we get that hooked up, all right? And that'll be in the next video, all right? So thanks for watching. Hey, Smig out. Check out the next video where we hook the 12 volt connector from the DC-DC converter on the built-in DC-DC converter on the X9000, all right, the EBMX X9000, and we'll hook it up to the wire harness and the Tusk Enduro Lightning Kit wire harness. Okay, thanks for watching. Here's me go.